Hey, welcome back to the Public Offender 100 channel. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe if you're digging the content. If you're not, do it anyway. I don't care. You know what I mean? Keep engaging though, man. We like it. But let's get into this next video. Really interesting stuff. Benny Ray is a TikTok creator. He basically posts a bunch of like red pill adjacent. I consider him to be red pill, but he doesn't think that he's red pill. He thinks he's like sensible. But he posts like a bunch of what I would call red pill adjacent content, meaning he doesn't like overtly say stuff about women that would make you be like, oh, that's egregious if you're not really in the know. But to people like me, when I hear this content, I'm like, this is freaking terrible. And I'm sure to most women, what he's saying is egregious as well. Follow fallout scenario, whatever you want to call it. Benny is obsessed with women and why like that women have it easier than men. He's one of those guys, you know what I'm saying? Like how dare women call out men for being terrible and like lump us all in together, even though I am a part of the terrible men and most men I know are a part of terrible men. He's in that group of men, right? And he thinks that a woman like Drew is a hypocrite because Drew has a husband, or I'm sorry, soon to be husband, by the way. Congratulations on the engagement, Drew. She has a soon to be husband, right? And for some reason in his mind, he can't rationalize how a woman who has a man, who was probably raised by a man, has a father, right? And who has men in her life can talk negatively about men as a group. He just can't fathom the idea.
So y'all girl, Drew Afualo, is engaged. Nice rock. That's a big rock, boy. That's a nice rock she got there. Not gonna lie. I'm envious. I might have to get my wife something like that when I upgrade next year. That's
I can't believe he put that in this video. That is crazy. Like what? Why would you say that? Why would you say you're envious of a rock, sir? Interesting. Just off the rip, it's just red flags, right? Like, why are you jealous of her rock? It could have been funny, but it's not though, because you like if I said that, it would, you know what I'm saying? I think it would go over differently if you weren't already a hater. You see what I'm saying? If you're not a hater and you say that, then it comes off as like obviously you're joking, but you are actually a hater. So I believe you actually are envious of her rock, amongst other things.
said. I find it very interesting that the type of content and rhetoric she puts out there for women. Meanwhile, she about to be happily married. Ladies, y'all ain't caught on to the game yet. Y'all ain't caught on to the game yet.
It's crazy that men like Benny think that they need to like mansplain what's really going on. Like they see stuff that women don't. Sir, um, talk to your I mean, you're not gonna do that because you would lose your whole base, but like you you don't have like some unique insight about Drew. Drew is pretty straightforward with her content. She's not hiding anything. And the women that follow her, the reason why they haven't picked up on it is because they understand better than you do that they can have a whole man in their house, have a whole husband who they might love, who they might cherish, who is actually not a bad guy, while simultaneously understanding that as a group, as a class, as an oppressive class, men are a net negative on society and to women specifically. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive. You can hold those two trains of two schools of thought simultaneously and not be a walking contradiction. The same way that I can go out here and make money and try to make as much money as I can, ethically, by the way, while simultaneously being anti-capitalist. That is something that a person who wants to protect capitalism, they will try to like act like I'm a contradiction because I'm like, yeah, we still live in a capitalist society. The rules haven't changed yet. So while the rules are in place, I'm going to play the game while simultaneously trying to change the system because I know that this system doesn't benefit the vast majority of people on the planet. So regardless of my socioeconomic status, I will always hold those sentiments. I don't care if tomorrow I make $100 million, I'm not going to flip and be like, you know what? This capitalism thing ain't half bad. And that's what y'all expect somebody like Drew to do. It just shows the type of person you are. You guys are constantly projecting. You reveal more in your videos about your train of thought than you do about anybody who you try to attack. This is about you. Already, you started off talking about her ring and you were jealous. That is a reflection of you. You're jealous. You can't believe this woman that you deem to be problematic, right? You deem to be less than. Has a whole man who is taller than you and probably more successful than you. And definitely his girl is, right? He has a woman that is more successful than you, and he is probably more successful than you. And he bought her this big ass ring that you're jealous of. You're just say you're, I mean, you said you're jealous of the ring, but really you're jealous of them and their relationship. You don't think she deserves this. That's all it is.
See, because keeping y'all mad and angry at men, focusing on the wrong shit, on the type of rhetoric she puts out there, that stops y'all from getting what she got. Meanwhile, she goes home every day and snuggles up with a man that don't make nowhere close to what she makes. But she got that ring on her finger. Time after
I can't imagine a man getting online and openly pocket watching a woman. What? Are you okay? Seriously. I think your locks is too tight. You need to get a retwist and get an untwist, as a matter of fact, because this is crazy.
the time after woman gets on here and becomes millionaires. You know what I'm saying? Fueling y'all's hatred and vitriol for men. The men y'all choose. Whole time they go home and cook dinner and do all that.
The men y'all choose. Sir, by the way, that is what you do. You're projecting. You're just jealous because your platform is significantly smaller than hers. You want her spot, but you want it, but your platform is built on the backs of hating women, right? The men you talk to, they hate women. That's who you appeal to. You appeal to men who cause harm to women. You appeal to abusers. You appeal to users. That's who you appeal to. That's your base. But you're jealous of this woman for having the success that she has, right? And you're trying to act like she's the problem. Oh, she hates all men. She doesn't. Obviously, she doesn't hate all men. Obviously, she doesn't. Obviously, she thinks that there are some good men out there. Her life is the proof that we all look, sir. If she was getting online and was being a man hater, right? If she, for her to pull off what you're claiming she's trying to do, she would have to hide from everybody that she doesn't have a. She would have to hide that she has a man from everybody for it to work, right? Instead, she does the opposite. She shows her husband off to us. She shows her ring. She shows her successes in her relationship. But she's also telling women and saying like, "Hey, this is the results may vary when it comes to men." That's all she's saying. She's not saying that no woman can find success with the man or find a healthy relationship with the man. She's just acknowledging, which is true based on the numbers, that it is damn near impossible for women to find men who treat them like human beings. That's it. That's the truth.
That shit they tell y'all not to do for them very same men. That's crazy. And for y'all, she only talks about the bad men. I made a video about this that went viral. Remember when she was singing the Kendrick Lamar song? So let's not be disingenuous here and just try to be seen. Now, since this video, she tries to, go out of her way to put the awful men in her captions. She switched that up real quick. But she had to, because then she was going to look like a hypocrite. So she had to separate it, right? You see, instead of giving y'all the tools and the guidance and the information And the advice to get that right there.
That's not the goal, Benny. You think her being engaged is the goal for most women. It's not. I don't even think it was a goal for Drew. That's not the goal. If you listen to the women, you would actually know this. The goal is for them to be safe, for them to be happy, for them to be healthy. That is the ultimate goal. If they can do it with the man, great. But the way for them to achieve that is for men to leave, for the bad men to leave them the F alone, and for them to protect themselves from said bad men. Because, like you already said, the men y'all choose. The men y'all choose, not the men who are actually bad. It's the men the women choose, right? It ain't got nothing to do with the men being bad. Y'all just chose bad. And that's what I told you in our live, Benny. I said when I was talking to you, when I was roasting you, I was saying, stop talking to women. If you really care about women, you want women, look, stop projecting onto Drew what you think women should be pursuing. If you want women to pursue marriage and healthy and happy relationships, talk to men. Believe it or not, that is the cure. Talking to men, trying to get men to be healthier, trying to get men to be happier, trying to get men to see women as human beings. That's the cure. The cure is not trying to convince women of anything. That's not the cure.
She'd rather tell y'all the bullshit that makes her a New York Times bestseller. That's what she'd rather tell y'all. You think you get a ring like that?
This nigga is so jealous. He's jealous of how much. Listen, he's jealous of her rock. He's jealous of how much money she makes, and now he's talking about that she's a New York Times bestseller. Listen to how jealous he is of this woman. This is crazy.
Being the woman that she describes on the internet or she portrays on the internet? No, you don't. Or if you do, it's because her man knows she got that bag coming.
Her man has been with her well before she became this popular, and well before she got to the proverbial bag. Her man just likes her. But do you see how these men make Drew's point in real time? Because he's saying that he's essentially admitting to there are no good men. Every man must have a nefarious reason for doing the things that he's doing. It can't be he just loves her. No. It must be to get the bag. So, but why is it a problem when Drew says that? When Drew says men ain't shit. Men have ulterior motives. Whatever she's saying about men, oh no, she's evil. But when you said it's okay, oh, because you bashing her. Okay, I get it.
So that's one of two things. Either she lying to y'all and playing two different people on the internet and at home, or that dude just there for the bag. See, they'll tell y'all don't cook, don't clean, don't do this, don't do that. But then turn around and go home to the very man and do all those same things. See, but she packages this up in, oh well, you don't need a man, da 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 da. He's just gonna the right man will just come your way. Like as if he just dropped in her lap. Cause when you're the great woman, the men will come. As if there's no work on her end in order to cultivate these types of men and relationships that get rocks like that on.
Cultivate these types of men. So you think that women should mold men? What do you mean? What if she was just a decent person and she just happened to meet a decent person? And yeah, they grew together. She's young, so and they've been together for like 7 years. So right, they grew up together essentially. Yeah, I'm sure they worked on a lot of stuff in their relationship, but they worked to the point to where now they're getting married. Like, I'm not, sir, you're married. You don't understand this. Like, you sound like the hypocrite because you're married and you act like you don't understand how relationships work. You're the one playing dumb. Tell these men the truth about relationships. Tell them they got to put in work. You're the one lying to them. You're the one saying that women got to do all of this stuff and your woman got to knowing your woman don't be doing all of that shit. Knowing you got to show up in your relationship. And guess what, Benny? If you're not doing it, she will leave you. So you choose. Time will tell. If you are the person you're acting like if the way that you're trying to portray yourself is like yeah, women got to earn it and so on and so forth, right? If If that is truly the case, and you think you're the prize, watch. But I think that in your life you don't act like that. I think in your real life you are probably a doting husband. You are probably a doting father. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, because one thing I know for sure is if you're not, it'll come out. It'll come out when your wife divorces you. It'll come out when she leaves you. It'll come out. And this is not me hoping. I'm just saying this is typically how it happens. And because people have said the same thing about me. Don't get me wrong. I'm not wishing that on you. I'm just saying in reality, it's bound to happen if you don't correct yourself, if you don't correct what's going on.
Her finger. She leaves that part out though. But y'all keep making these women millionaire after millionaire. It is what it is. Eventually, y'all will catch on.
So he was just he literally just made a whole video mad that this woman got to the bag and has a successful relationship. That's it. That's all. That's all this video was rooted in.
But instead of addressing me and tagging me, or saying it on, hey y'all,
it's another video of him crying. We're gonna go through it real quick so you guys can see the 3 phases of Benny crashing out on this.
It's me. We got action, guys. So just like Drinkable Brian, who made a video about me, blocked me, and then ran and posted.
Shout out to Drinkable Brian, man. I fucks with Drinkable Brian. Solid cat. Solid cat.
Posted it on Instagram so I couldn't see it. Another big time creator has done the same thing. Miss Afualo herself finally saw my content, but instead of addressing me and tagging me or saying it on TikTok, she took pieces of my video and ran and posted on her Instagram story, to shape the narrative to her minions. And I was wondering why I was getting certain girls coming to my content. Now it makes sense because she posted it on Instagram. Let's see what she was saying, guys. Number one, she called me out my name. She calling me out my name.
She called everybody a bitch. Get over it.
Not once in my video did I call her out her name. Not once in my video did I disrespect her. But
yeah, double standards exist. Double standards exist. It's okay. Get over it. Stop whining.
Instantly, clearly, something that I said triggered that woman. And this is what she said.
Something I said triggered that woman. Could it be you talking Cash Money shit about her and her fiance and said that her fiance was with her for the bag? Throwing your rock and hiding your hand is wicked work, fam. Wicked work.
This is what she calling me. This is y'all's savior. This is y'all's champion.
This all these dudes do. I'm telling you, this is how he argues with his wife. Listen, he ain't even got to the core issue. He's still stuck on the first sentence. Oh, she called me out my name. Shut up. Talk about the why.
This is how she responds, right? Did I disrespect her? Do I say anything red pillish? No. I just called out the inconsistencies in her content and called out what she does, the ploy that she does to women. That's it. And I said either her man is with her for the bag, or I said she is portraying someone online to say.
Both highly disrespectful. Both highly disrespectful. Just so you know, highly disrespectful and very red pillish. Both of them. I know y'all don't know what y'all are so so far up the red pill pipeline, you don't even know you're in it anymore.
And make money off of upset women so that she can fund her lifestyle and she acts differently at home with said man. That is what I said. Not once did I call her out her name like she did me. Not once did I disrespect her like she did me. But
you did disrespect her. Y'all got to stop playing this game, man. Just because you don't call somebody a bitch or a hoe or something like that, that's whatever. If you say her fucking man is a gold digger, essentially, you say her man don't really love her, he just with her for the bag, that's more disrespectful than somebody calling you a bitch. Like, we're adults. What would hurt you more? To find out that your wife never loved you and she was just with you for the bag, or your wife calling you a bitch? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
This is y'all.
Or your wife saying that you were with her for the bag, or your wife claiming that you were with her for her beauty or for sex or whatever, which, probably that last two things, but like, you know what I'm saying? Imagine your wife saying that to, like, my wife calling me a punk, it doesn't hurt. I ain't no punk. That shit don't hurt me. My wife calling me a bitch don't hurt me. My wife telling me you're using me, that would hurt me. That would devastate me. That would be very, very painful to me. You have the mind of a child if the word bitch enrages you, but you think it's okay to go around saying that a woman's husband or fiance is with her for the money, or that she's a liar. Like,
champion. This is the shit that y'all clap for.
For sure gonna make a TikTok about this later today. But this type of shit, that fuck ass video from that bitch who's obsessed with me, who allegedly is married, by the way. And if you are, does your wife know you spend so much time looking at me?
yeah, let me make some allegations, Benny. I'm gonna make some allegations right now about you and your wife. I think everything that you're saying about Drew is your life, right? You have a substantial following. You got about 200,000 followers on TikTok. You're probably making decent money a month on your videos. You know what I'm saying? And I think your wife is okay with that, and I think she's pushing you to lean into that, right? I have the support of my wife too. So I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I have the support of my wife. Everybody knows that. I think that your wife doesn't really care about what you say because the money's coming in. Period, point blank. I think your wife is okay with you going out there and talking about single women and being obsessed with other women or whatever the case may be. I think your wife doesn't care for the money, and that's scary for her because these are all extreme red flags, right? So when you talk about the woman choosing bad, your wife chose poorly thus far. As far as I'm concerned, your wife is the women that you're talking about because you're not a good person, right? You are a walking red flag and a walking contradiction yourself. So looking at your content and knowing you have a wife or you allegedly you have a wife, I'm like, she chose poorly. But that's my assessment of your situation. I think your wife is okay with you being obsessed with single women, and talking about other women because you're making some money and you have some success. That's what I think.
Or other women for that matter, because all you ever do is stitch women. And I know for a fact this isn't your full-time job, so like this is just a hobby? Uh-oh. That's concerning. Anyways.
I know you ain't got the audacity to try to call her out for job shaming when you were like, oh, she's a New York Times bestseller. All you was doing was coming after her success. And she, once again, and rightfully so, is saying, you're not even doing this for like a real bag. You doing this for pocket change. Maybe a little, maybe not even pocket change, a decent amount of money, fair amount of money. I know how the money works, right? You probably making decent money. But this ain't your full-time job. This is not enough to support you and your family yet, but you want it to be. And that's why you so jealous of her. She was right to call that out. She was right to point that out.
Moving on. That guy right there, first of all, is obsessed with me, but past that, he's a perfect example of how being nice to them and trying to educate them doesn't fucking work. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter. You could be as nice as fucking pie and they're still gonna make up fucking fan fiction about you, bitch. Fuck them.
You see at the end, she said, bitch. She was calling the women bitches too. You didn't clock that though, huh? She just called the women or the people, me too, because I was listening to her. So whoever she was talking to, she was just calling us bitch. She just uses the word bitch often. But you trying to like turn it into some like personal shit, like she went out of her way to call me a bitch. Like if Kamala Harris called you a bitch, okay. Right? But like Drew calling you a bitch, that's par for the course. She calls everybody a bitch. Get over it.
Like, What? I'm obsessed.
You are obsessed. You have made like 5 videos and you went live about her. You are obsessed. Stop playing. Huh, obsessed. Yeah, you're very obsessed. You're obsessed with her ring. You're obsessed with her success. You're obsessed with her fiance. How is he with her? Why is he with her? You're obsessed with her, obviously.
Obsessed? Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. All I do is stitch women? Really? Really? But again, of course she has to paint that narrative, but she's saying that she doesn't lie. She's not a hypocrite. She never said she hates all men. Oh, run the footage.
When women say they hate all men, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. You should.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care. You should. Let's listen to that again.
Yeah, let's listen
When
to it
women
again.
say they hate all men, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. You should.
She said women. She's not even talking about herself. She's just saying she gets it. Like, yeah, no, I get it. I understand women saying that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would never say, like, not all men. Like, I do think it's all.
I've said before, they're all guilty until proven innocent.
And again, here
They're all guilty until proven innocent means there are some good men out there. They just have to prove it. What is wrong with that?
we have the video that I made before. The only other video I ever made about this woman was when she made this video. Once again, singing to the Kendrick Lamar song. She said, "Me to all men." And at the bottom in her caption, she said she has built a career off of it. AKA, I have profited off of miserable women.
No, she's profited off of miserable men.
Now I got a New York Times bestseller. I got money in the bank. I'm living my best life, capitalizing off of the trauma of miserable women.
That's not what she's doing. She's capitalizing off of stupid men like you stitching her and attacking her and her responding. That's what she's built her platform on, not women. You don't even, you know how platforms are built. That's what she built her platform on. That's what she's saying. You're lying. Exactly what she said you do when she said that you just make up fan fiction about what about her life or about her platform. That's what you're doing right now. And you did that in the live I was in with you too. You did the same thing about me. You just started making up stuff. That's what you do. You just make shit up. When people don't fit into these boxes, right? When you try to force people into these boxes and they don't fit, then that's when you just start making up stuff to make it right.
And their poor choices in men. But of course, she left that part out of my video. Yeah, it's all about painting a narrative, people. She's no different than Myron from Fresh and Fit. She's no different than Dr. fucking Umar. She's no different than any of these people. They profit off.
Then she's no different than you. Then she's no different than you. You are teaching men how to remain single. You're teaching men how to be violent towards women. That's what you're doing. But you have a wife at home. You are the person you're talking about. Look in the mirror.
The plight of others. See, but she ain't respond to when I made this video, and this video of mine was way more viral. She ain't respond. They was tagging her all day. She never responded. So clearly something I said today triggered you. That's why you had to call me out of my name, and that's why you had to get disrespectful. But
so you made several videos before she responded to you?
Because something hit you in the inside. Hit dog. You cast that brick over the fence. Whatever dog is going to hit, it's going to holler. But this the shit y'all clap it up for. Yeah, exactly. See, but unlike her, we talk about a bit of everything over here. But let's go down the list of my videos since she said all
No, you don't.
I do is stitch videos of women. Let's go down the list. So there's me talking about PS5s and the iPhoneification of PlayStation 5s. Those 2 videos following after, of course, her video and then one of her minions coming after me and me responding. Of course, she came in disrespect. Of course, she blocked me after I called her out.
Look like all women to me. Look like 85% women stitches. Don't take it so literally.
For that. The next 3 videos after that are about barbers. Okay. The video after that right there, that's me stitching BRS's video. Oh, look, and there's me talking about iPhones being trash.
So let me get this straight. Your content is either you bashing women or you talking about random shit. And you don't see the flaw in that? You are proving her point. Your platform is either you stitching women and talking about them negatively, or you talking about random shit. But when I was on the live with you, you was yelling at the top of your lungs about how I call it both ways. I talk about men too. I do that. You don't. Where is it at? That's what I said. That's when you kicked me, by the way. That's when he kicked me. When I bet him, I said, I bet you right now. He didn't even let me finish, and that's when they kicked me. When I started to expose that, he was like, yeah, I talk about men and yada, yada, yada. I said, you don't. Then he was like, you've obviously never seen my platform. I said, I have. I followed you. I've gone through your content. I know. I told him. I said I've even commented on your stuff. I have a video about you, which I don't have video. This is gonna be my second one. I was like, but I have a video about you. You know what I'm saying? It did decent. Did some decent numbers. And he was and then I started to tell him. I said you don't talk about men and women like you don't. It ain't even close to equal, right? If you ever talk about men. And then he was like, I do. And he started talking about some random live that he did like a week ago when he was like talking about men were talking about how they were abused by women. And I was like, that's not the same thing. That is the same thing that you always do. You are calling out women's problematic behavior. Like that is your platform. Right. And abuse is abuse. So yeah, men just sharing their stories and opening up about being traumatized in life. I get that. But conveniently on your platform, it's men opening up about how they were abused by women. And I don't have a problem with people sharing their story, and I don't want to shame those people. But you don't make those spaces for women. You see what I'm saying? If you were doing it both ways, you would have women on there talking about how they were traumatized by men, because there are way more women who have stories about being molested or SA'd by a man, by their fathers, by their uncles, by their brothers, by their friends, by their partners. There are way more women who could tell those stories than those men you had on your platform. But you don't have a live about that. When you guys say it goes both ways, it has to actually go both ways, right? You got to call it both ways. That's not calling it both ways, sir.
So then I'm talking about Shannon Sharp. Then I'm talking about that pandering dude right there. Then we're talking about Dr. Disrespect calling out his weird, child-liking behaviors. There's me talking about that black lady with a white guy that picks cotton, for rage bait. Then we're talking about once there, hey, I'm taking up for the ladies right there, calling out guys being, deliberately incompetent for no reason.
Wow. Wow, sir. Great job. One video. Keep it up, Benny.
Needs to re-up the ring he got for his wife next year. Talk about some of the shit they said in their videos about my engagement, obviously. One of them, I'm not kidding, starts the video off by saying how he's like actually very jealous of my ring and it made him think he needs to re-up the ring he got for his wife next year. Come again. Bitch, are you fucking serious? Okay, no, for sure. Hey, that's humiliating. Anyways.
Now, I know I said that last video was going to really be my last video, but my wife sent me that video because she's been catching up on all this bullshit.
Now he going to blame it on his wife. Please, Benny.
Shit. And you know what's interesting? This is I'm about to for people with a little brain, y'all should see this shit and be like, wow, she's really conceited. She's really a narcissist. She really makes shit up in her head, right? Number one, me and my wife have been on, we will be celebrating 9 years of marriage in November. Right? I know you don't know nothing about that, Drew. Let's hope you and your man make it that long. Number two, we've been talking about celebrating our 10th year anniversary, upgrading one another's rings, and actually having a big wedding vow renewal celebration because we never had an actual wedding due to us being in the military and deploying at the time. We got married in the courthouse and we never had a big, fancy wedding or honeymoon or anything like that. We just been handling business. But just in case y'all don't believe me, this was Thursday. She sent me that TikTok. She said, I like the design. I said, Now this is way before I even made a video about Drew. That's crazy, right? But yeah, hey, let's paint this narrative that, yeah, I'm just jealous of Drew and her man, and I'm so in.
You can still be jealous of her ring because you don't have the ring. Don't matter if y'all was just conveniently talking about it. You ain't got the ring. I don't think you lying about wanting to upgrade your wife or whatever. I never thought that. What are you talking about? You were jealous. You are jealous of her. And beyond the ring, explain you constantly pocket watching. Explain you saying her fiance is with her for the bag. Explain you talking about her being a New York Times bestseller. Explain all of those things. Because all those things together paint the picture that you are a fucking hater, that you are jealous. Bottom line is, Benny, you are the person that you're trying to act like all these other people. Like, you are the person. You are that guy. You're not any different than Umar or the other people you named. You're a contradiction. Like, it is what it is at this point.